Hello and welcome to Nursing 335 Introduction to Nursing Research. I'm John Dyson. I'll be your facilitator through this course as we travel through the next 8 weeks learning about the world of nursing research. Oh, and that brought back a memory when I first entered the Bachelor of Science completion program here at Concordia University, Wisconsin. I had an instructor that said, "Welcome to the wonderful world of being a nurse researcher." And if you're like I was at the time, some of you anyway, you're going, "I don't want to be a nurse researcher. I just have to take this class." Well, some of you may be excited like this. Probably some of you not. Some of you very nervous. Why are you here? Have you thought about it that way? Well, for some of you, you're going, "Well, I needed to take this as the next course so I can keep progressing through the program." Others have institutions that are requiring that you take the BSN completion course to earn your bachelor's degree so you can have a career progression ladder. And still others maybe are considering going on to master's or even doctoral work as you go through this program. And some people are doing it just to get additional nursing education and complete their bachelor's degree. Every one of those reasons is good. Did you know, though, that research shows that as a nursing student, you're likely to experience even more stress than your friends and colleagues enrolled in other programs? Can you tell I love this slide? Or another study found that nursing students experience higher levels of stress than those who are medical, social work, and pharmacy students. Makes you wonder what you're thinking. And yet another one shows 1/3 of nursing students experience stress enough to produce mental health problems such as anxiety and depression. That's why we've included a stress reduction kit, although I don't recommend your computer monitor be the bang head here. If you really need it, I'll be happy to email you a version you can print out and place on the firm surface like it says. Well, all kidding aside, this is a stressful program. This is a stressful course, but I have a goal of helping you through it and making it a smooth understanding. My goal is not necessarily to have you become master researcher. My goal is to help you understand what research is, how it's conducted, and how you use it in everyday practice. So stop for a moment and take a deep breath and realize, okay, I'm on your side and I need your help, and hopefully you'll use my help, and we'll work together to make this experience a positive one. I've had a lot of good comments about the course as far as looking at things that in a different perspective than they had before. I'm hoping you find that as well. So this week's agenda, we're going to talk over course expectations, projects, assignments, and grades. That'll be this particular PowerPoint you're viewing now. Many things that are due, we're going to work through them, and we have some flexibility. So just stay with the program, stay with what we have set up for a course timeline for you. I've worked very hard on that, and our instructors have worked very hard in putting together these particular projects. And I think you'll find it's something that does open your eyes to what researchers do, perhaps in a different light. In the next PowerPoint, you'll find out why research is important, and it'll offer a brief history review. And also will include an overview of the research process. And then in the final one, the final PowerPoint presentation, you'll have a discussion PowerPoint on qualitative, quantitative, and mixed methods designs. You notice what we're trying to do is break these PowerPoints into smaller sections that you can view at a time that you have available. If that's 2 in the morning, if that's 10 o'clock in the morning, if that's 6 o'clock at night, you can just kind of plug in some headphones into a laptop and take a listen. My goal of the course is simple: to help you understand what nursing research is and why it's important to know it and how you use it in everyday practice, because regardless of the political views of the national healthcare policies and that, the need will always be there to use evidence-based practice with solid research backing it up. So here's the books that you need for our course here, Nursing Research by Pollitt and Beck. Make sure it is the 9th edition. It will be the most up-to-date in terms of understanding the Affordable Health Care Act and other advances that are occurring in nursing research. The APA manual should start looking a little bit worn at the binding, hopefully between classes you've been taking already and this one. That should be at your side with every project that you're working on, guys, through this whole program. It's essential that part of professional development and professional presentation includes a solid writing style, and the healthcare professions, and specifically nursing, utilize APA format as its model. Speaking of models, the Newman Systems model will be referenced as part of this class as well. That's why it's good to hang on to that book. It will serve as a nursing framework when we reach that section of the course. So in this course, we're going to identify how nursing research applies to your nursing practice. This is one of the reasons I had you come up with a couple of ideas for what it is you're going to follow through the semester in terms of nursing topic ideas there, because it needs to be something that you are involved in, you are getting excited about, you are interested in learning more about your nursing practice. And we're going to help develop a better evidence-based nursing practice, and that comes through better communication and problem skills, as you see, better health outcomes, and how to critically examine and analyze scientific claims and theories. Let me put it to you this way. If you are looking to make a change at work, which is going to sound better, saying, I don't like how we're doing this. We need to do a better job of this, and I don't like it. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little. Or does it say, well, recent research is showing this, and according to so-and-so, these are the types of things that we should be looking at for better health outcomes, saving us money, and helping nurses complete their cares in a more efficient manner. One versus the other sounds quite a bit more solid when you're presenting it. And then we're going to have you understand the steps of qualitative, quantitative, and mixed methods research. Those are the basic cores that are involved in research, and certainly we'll get into more detail when we talk about. Going to understand ethics in research and the rights of human subjects. This is one of my favorite areas because we see some amazing topics being talked about, and there was some interesting travesties that have been done in society, and according to the news media, may still be going on as well. How to critically evaluate research for credibility for use as evidence-based practice to improve patient health outcomes and provide safe patient care as part of the healthcare team. That is one of the baccalaureate essentials of nursing's statements that all nursing programs are based on, and it is important for you to know what makes a good research-based article, because it's amazing to me how many articles on the surface look like, wow, this is saying that, but when you learn how to dig deeper into it and look at how it was done, maybe they were doing it for a particular cause or a particular funding source, or didn't turn out the way they wanted to, but they wanted to make sure they got the money anyway, so they tweaked it to make it work. And you need to know how to differentiate between those. For our course, attendance is really a big thing. Attendance is important. And you're thinking, well, online attendance. Well, we do have a system in place that helps track how often and for how long you're going on particular sections. So you can't just click that you went into a section and have that count. But waiting till the last end is not a good idea in this course. And in fact, we're going to have discussion boards as we go through here, and we're going to have projects each week that are mini projects to help you learn there, as well as the major projects that you see in the course. But it's important that you check in and see what your students, you almost said your co-workers, are doing, and also keeping in touch with me. Communication is so huge in any course, but especially in this course. This is why I have instituted Google Docs as part of this so that you can actually work together on certain projects depending on the class, or work with me in both a synchronous and an asynchronous type format. And that's going to be what makes this work. But you need to take the responsibility to be a part of it. You have the flexibility with an online course that you can do this pretty much at any time. You can make arrangements with me for virtually any time, although I will tell you I don't know about 3 in the morning, but we can set up times that work pretty much for you to go over things without having to do the email catch-up train. We can actually go on at the same time on a project you're working on, have a conversation that takes place live time or separate time there, and we can highlight certain areas so that you're able to better complete your work and have a better understanding of it. How do I get a good grade in this class? Well, here's the projects that are due: the critique of nursing research, the annotated reference bibliography, the evidence table with synthesis of findings, the city training human rights certification, one final examination, and participation, and that's each week's participation. Whew, it sounds like a lot. We're saving you some money here, believe it or not, because this is essentially a lot of work that could make this worth a 5-credit course, but we're charging 3 credits. And I say that somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but it's a lot to do and a lot to get through. But my goal is to build one week upon another, one project upon another, so that you'll find that getting to that end project, which the cumulative project is the evidence table with synthesis of findings, then it'll be a easier process there. So as my picture is trying to indicate, don't sweat it too much. We'll work on it together. First, the critique of nursing research project. And I need to remind you at this point that we do have the nursing workbook, which gets into the fine details of the rubrics, what it is you need for what points. Follow the rubrics. Write your work, follow the rubrics, make sure that you have everything covered, and you should do well with it. So for the critique of the nursing research, you're going to take one article, and we're going to have you do a project before then, so that won't be difficult. And you're going to dissect it based on what you're learning in this class. And you're going to determine, is it good, is it bad, what's good about it, and why. And you're going to present a project that does examine this much better. Then you're going to read, and reread that article. Get to know it personally so that you know every bit of what's in it and where it is in there, so you understand that journal article thoroughly. And then you're going to complete a critical evaluation tool. Let me tell you, in days gone by, you used to kind of pull things off of the book and try to put together your own evaluation. We have added a critical evaluation tool as part of the PiraCheck book that you purchased as a supplemental one. And that's going to help you through it as well. When we get to using that, I'm going to actually have that so you make sure you understand each week what you have due for that. And then you're going to submit it electronically. It is very important, folks, that these be submitted electronically through the current electronic educational system that we have in place, whether it be Angel or soon to be Blackboard, if not already. That way we have a way of tracking it, we have a way of getting you grading, and very quick turnaround time is the goal for this program, so that you learn from that, because the writing part is something that will be not only important for this course, but more important for future courses, and if you're going on for additional degrees, it'll help you be prepared for that. The evidence table with a synthesis of findings. It's a table that I actually have formatted for you already, and you're going to fill in the blanks there, but it's going to be where you take your study question that we will have had formatted quite a bit earlier and ultimately create a template-based table that lets you support the different evidence that you found for this. And it provides a synthesis of the studies. Now, synthesis for some may be a new term, but it's an understanding of what's being said in your own words. It's not an abstract of a journal article, for example. It is a synthesis. How do I explain what took place in this journal article or these journal articles? You're going to evaluate the outcomes and results. Were they credible? Were they valid and reliable? Were there study limitations? And were there results that were credible? What instrumentation was used? And so on. And all these things, by the time you get to this point, you're going to have a pretty good understanding. Then the city certification is a human rights certification. It's making sure that you get through a course which you will be able to carry forever into any institution you do any further work on if you choose to do that. But it's basically human rights protection. This is one of my favorite weeks. This particular human rights certification you'll see is your only project due after the class because it will take some time to go through. Typically for new people going through this, it can take 2 to 3 hours, hopefully sooner there. And there will be particular certificates or completion certificates that come with each section that you do, and you will need to make sure that you bring copies, submit copies. I wrote here copy to class, but obviously it would be submitting electronically, scanning them in, for example, as proof of completion of this project. You basically do it, you pass each section with an 80% or better, and you get multiple chances if you didn't do it, and you've got your points for this particular project. And the annotated bibliography is yet another piece of this. I like to call them annotated reference bibliography because you're going to take 10 articles and you're going to explain what it is they say. Notice again the word synthesis of the article is in this. It's your synthesis of the article. They have to be written in 6th edition APA format. I heard that groan. Okay, but make sure that you're understanding it. It's like writing a reference list and then putting detail about the article in it there. And I actually will have a handout when we get to that section that you'll be able to read and or print out if you so choose. But remember, annotated reference bibliography is not the abstract, okay, because that's already written. It's not just a summary of the article, but it's your understanding of what it is and whether it's valid to the particular topic that you're looking at. So here we are at the end of this section. In our next section, which you can view at your time frame, is the history of nursing research and its use. Hopefully you're getting questions answered along the way. Please refer to your nursing workbook for more specific details of each project there. And of course, feel free anytime to email me with any questions. Dyson@cuw.edu. Dyson at it's John.Dyson at cuw.edu. And we'll talk to you next time.